Have you ever struggled to learn a new language? You would like to start but had no idea where to start and how to get into the learning process. Have you ever struggled to keep your motivation in the long run? Have you ever had problems understanding others in the language you learned? Have you ever felt uncomfortable with your pronunciation in front of others? Have you ever had difficulties in remembering words you learned months ago? Have you ever had problems with sentence building, or you just needed a few minutes to do that, which is a bit too much in a daily conversation? If your answer to any of these questions is yes, then in a few minutes you will learn some new ideas in your language learning approach. I am about to reveal to you one of the best short video series on how to start a new language. I will help you to avoid the biggest pitfalls of the language learning process. How do I know what is the right way? Although I'm not the guy who speaks 10 or more languages yet, but I have some relevant experience and I have done a tremendous amount of research on this topic. I lived in Austria for 9 months and had difficulty being fluent in German, even though I had learned German before I moved there. I struggled the whole time with the language and it wasn't fun. I enjoyed living there, but the language was a huge effort. Now, 2 years later, I started learning Slovak, a Slavic language that considered to be very tough. With the very limited resources I had, I started learning and noticed that my daily learning sessions were very efficient and enjoyable at the same time. What has changed? Really everything, my approach and my methods. Now, in 4 short videos, I would like to give you my best ideas how to get started in a language, be motivated in the long run, and how to progress quickly. First, I'm going to present to you what are the main components of the language learning process, and I encourage you not to limit yourself because the language learning talent is so overrated. Secondly, we will take a look at why you should learn that language that you choose. It is a crucial step, so I would advise you take your time and understand why it is important to you learning the language. Thirdly, you need to know about some theory of the different techniques that I suggest you to use, because when you understand why you should use these methods, it will boost your confidence in the things you do. And finally, we are going to build a system that you can apply to almost any chosen language efficiently for free. All you need is a decent computer and internet connection. Let's start with these components. What determines your language learning time and experience? If you are not disabled and you speak your native language, then you have already completed the requirements to be able to learn a language fluently as a child. So if you say that you are not able to master a foreign language because you don't have the talent, you are just wrong. Recent studies have shown that adults actually can beat children in language learning efficiency and speed. Unfortunately, in most cases, they just have the ability, but in reality, they rarely can do that. Let's take a look at why. Here's an example. Let's take a newborn child. As soon as he is born, a few years pass by and he realizes that with the help of sounds and words, he can more efficiently communicate with the world, and that gives him an invaluable advantage versus if he doesn't speak. He has a very strong why. I bet this why is much stronger than your "I want to learn Spanish because it sounds nice." Even if this is just subconscious in the child's mind, his reasons are just getting stronger and he won't give up, even after tremendous amount of failures. He has no understanding of any good techniques and he doesn't even need to be super smart, but still. His why is powerful so at the age of 3 or 4 he can become fluent in the language. In the long run, this why is 100% responsible for your success. However, if you also have good how to learn in your hands, that can help with speed and efficiency. So this is the second most important thing in the learning process. From my experience, I created a little formula for language learning. If you have a weak why and a bad know-how, this will result in you giving up on your learning very early. If you have a weak why and a good know-how, then you can experience some fast spikes, but it will also die pretty soon. If your why is strong enough, but you never used a good approach, as I didn't use it with my English, then you will struggle a lot. But you can push through it and reach a level that you want. It just lasts much more years than it should have. Or you can go smart about it and get a really strong why with a good know-how and understanding what the most important steps in your progress are, and you will learn very fast, and more importantly, it will be fun and exciting because you see the results which keep you on the right path, which in turn keeps you motivated. You may ask, what about your language learning talent and what about the brain capacity? I honestly think that nowadays these ideas about talent are just simply not true. It is much easier to say to a great athlete that he's talented. It is easier to say to an actor, a writer, a doctor, or a musician that, wow, what a talent. Somebody who speaks 10 languages can't be a normal dude. He's a super genius, isn't he? Not really. Instead, I suggest you imagine the hard work that they put into the skill set. Ask these people what had helped them to get there where they are. Read about successful people, what they think the key to be successful. Is it their talent or maybe their determination and focus on their daily life? Forget about talent. It doesn't exist. If it exists, can you control it? No. You can control your motivation and how you approach things, so it has no value believing in the illusion of talent. I view talent as a non-existing weird expression for those who are searching for excuses for why they fail. If I think there is no talent, I don't limit myself and I don't give myself any space for crazy excuses. Now you know that there are only two things matter. These are why you learn the specific language, and the other is how you approach it. In the next video, we go deeper into these two factors. If you like this video, watch the next one and subscribe to the channel for more great ideas.